I'm Corbett with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, October the 31st. Happy Halloween, brought to you in part by Strauss Workwear. Strauss is a tool that you wear. Check out their unique styles of workwear on their website, guys, all with the iconic ostrich label. And you get a 10% discount if you put on their Corbitt 10 when you get to that website and get ready to order some of this workwear there, guys. It's very unique and it is tough stuff. You can't tear it up. For more information, go to Strauss.com. Also, Unionville Livestock Market in north central Missouri and Creston Livestock Market in south central Iowa. Unionville Livestock Market's having a regular sale coming up this Tuesday on November the 4th. And then next Tuesday, November the 11th, they're having a special calf and yearling sale. They'll have some impressive consignments with over 2,000 head on offer. This November the 5th here on Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, Creston Livestock Market is having their special all-vaccinated calf and yearling sale. They've got a lot of impressive consignments. Walt Glenn's got 500 head of Angus yearling steers weighing 875 to 9 1/4. Justin Peterson's got 150 head of Angus yearling steers there weighing 850 to 900 pounds. We got the Thalen cattle, 140 head of them. Angus replacement heifers weighing 550 to 700 pounds. Whitson's have 140 head of Nichols sired Angus cattle right there weighing 550 to 700 pounds. And then the Pettit cattle, 120 head of those Angus steers weighing 650 to 750, long time weaned and everything done, guys. Check them all, both those sales, Unionville and Creston Livestock Markets at DVAuction.com. Beef drama. We've had a week full of it, and actually 2 weeks really if you go back to Trump's original tweet there on Truth Social, but it has been a beating. And we're just wanting to get beef on the back burner as far as media goes. We've been beat up in here, and there's just been a lot of blow up about beef prices and stuff. And we went to great length telling you how beef is not really high at all compared to other products out there. And actually your beef markets, we can't control them with the cattle. The beef market and the cattle market are two separate things. Your cattlemen are in the cattle business, your packers are in the beef business, and we don't have a lot of control over what they're doing. But you know, the Trump tweets hit us hard. Each time he put out a big tweet, it was limit down cattle futures. It just took a beating on the market, and we're not quite through with all this yet. We've still got more stuff coming up. Mexico is having a meeting with Secretary of Agriculture early this week, and we're not sure what's going to come out of that. We could never get her to say anything definitively, but the Mexico Ag Minister said that they have not come to any agreement when the border is going to open back up for cattle imports into the U.S., and that helped the market significantly later in the week there, guys. But after losing $30 to $40 cash basis on our feeder cattle, and the fed cattle took a big beating too, we're just ready to stop making so many headlines. Get back to business, get back to supply and demand. Pure, honest markets is what we're all about. We don't really need any help from the government. We just want them to get out of the way. I do want to say congratulations to my friend Jack Payne from Fallon, Nevada. He owns Nevada Livestock Marketing and ranches out there on public lands in Nevada. He is now the unofficial ag advisor because he had the Whitworth to show up to the announcement last week and be there, and he was able to spend an hour and a half talking to major leadership officials there about things that matter in agriculture. And some of our bigger cattlemen's groups there dropped the ball, refused Trump's invitation to come to the White House for that big announcement, and and they're likely not to get much attention here for the next 3 years or so when it comes to things coming up in ag. But we got Jack Payne there telling the truth about what's going on. I want to say a little bit about this broadcast, or this YouTube video, which is also on NationalBeefWire.com, every business day. I'm humbled by the following that I have on here. I mean, we've averaged 250,000 views per month here of late. And but this last week has been tough. I've had over 1,000 comments on these videos here just in the last week, and I know not everybody agrees with me, and it's okay. I'm out there. You can say what you want, and most of the comments are actually negative. The other masses of people that watch it, I assume, are pretty much in agreement because they don't take the time to sit down and comment on it. But I tell you what, when it goes over the line is when people disagree with me and then they make their own personal posts on social media there, editing out the portions of this video that they don't like, and then saying what a dumb son of a bitch I am and I don't know what I'm talking about and all that kind of thing. That's over, guys. I tell you what, I am uniquely and excessively qualified to do what I'm doing. I grew up in a preconditioned yard, you know, delivering country trade cattle there, you know, all my early days. I went to college. That's probably the least of my qualifications, but I have a bachelor's in ag business and economics. I have a master's in agriculture sciences and an 18-year career with the USDA as a certified livestock grader and a supervising market reporter. I've been doing this my whole life. I didn't just find this place and start talking about this stuff. I know what I'm talking about, guys. And you know, and usually it doesn't bother me, you know. But you know, I've been doing this a long time. I am, you know, I'm growing yard broke. I'm sale barn broke, and ranch broke. You know, about any kind of broke you want to find there, guys. Auctioneered cattle from Middlebury, Vermont to Madras, Oregon, and from Nevada all the way to South Georgia and all points in between. I kind of know what I'm talking about, and I'm honest about the markets I've got and the markets I'm giving you. And you know, it's just when people just start banging on you, eventually you have to stand up for yourself. Like most people in this industry, I am conservative to the core. So, you know, you can fault me for that, I guess. But I tell you what, I appreciate all you guys watching. I don't post these things so that when you just scroll by on your social media, I get another view. You have to go to it. You have to go to YouTube or NationalBeefWire.com and watch these videos. And I appreciate the people that don't agree with me that watch these videos. It's still more. I've got a lot of advertisers here. I've got a waiting list for advertisers here. And I shouldn't have to stand up for myself, and I don't most of the time. But I just, this week, I wanted to get rid of any animosity that I had, because my little girl is getting married this weekend, and I get to walk her down the aisle, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm very excited about that, and I hope you guys can give me that. Let's talk about your punchy picks. That's more fun. We do punchy picks every month at the end of the month. It's the last day of the month. We're going to give you punchy picks. First, we start out with Kids Corral, which is sponsored by Great Plains Livestock Consulting, guys. Check those out. You're going to get a $200 gift certificate to Cavender's Boot City, guys, if you win the Kids Corral. Coming up in our top three, third place goes to Rachel McNutt. And this little guy here, he's working his first load of cattle, and all the chaos that ensues whenever you're working cattle like that. His job for the day was working the EID wand, and they got all those cattle, you know, wanded and jotted down there, got all the information off of them. And he's going to spend all winter feeding cattle with his dad there. So thank you for Rachel McNutt sending that in. Second place for Kids Corral is Tyler Schaffner. This is 8-year-old Will, and he is packing one back out to his mama there. They brought those calves in to get them branded, and they had this little calf that couldn't hardly make his own way, and they had Will pack him back out, horseback out to his mama there, and he loves to day work. And so I'll be interested to see how long Will is excited about day work, and it may last him his whole life. He may get fed up with it like some of the rest of us, but thanks to Tyler Schaffner for sending that in. First place in the Kids Corral and the $200 gift certificate goes to Jordan Holmes. Now this is 9-year-old Riata, and I'm saying that right, I think. Why would they name her that close without calling her Riata? But this is her third branding that she got to rope at, and that's a big deal, guys. She's got her cousin, 10-year-old Jace there, mugging for her up there, and they got another 7-year-old kid there that's contemplating jumping on the head. But I think that was pretty punchy for a Kids Corral pick there, and congratulations to Jordan Holmes for winning the Kids Corral. Now we're going to the punchy pick of the month. Tara and Kevin Applegate from Kentucky, Maysville, Kentucky. I lived in Maysville, Missouri. This is Maysville, Kentucky there. But they're from Applegate Farms there. This is their son-in-law, Goose. And I'm not sure if, I don't have any reason to know that, but I'm not sure if Goose is all about this cowboy stuff. But this calf needed to come back up to the farm. And so he's packing that calf back up to the farm with the cow in tow right behind there. But I just thought this was pretty punchy for old Goose to be bringing them back to the farm there. Second place goes to Nate Horner from the Horner Cattle Company and Performance Horses. They're out of North Dakota that had several calves there. They hadn't got them tagged. They were busy. So they go back in there to tag some of these calves, and it doesn't take very many days them being on the ground. They're a little too spry for you to get a hold of them. So he was having to rope those calves and flank them down there to get them tagged and everything. His horse is 5-year-old Gracie, and Gracie she's a little protective of Nate, and she's fighting these cows off of him while he's trying to get that done, and I thought that was really cool, and that was deserving of credit there on the punchy pick, and normally would have won if we hadn't come in with the first place prize for punchy pick of the month, and it's Michael Piercy from Rochelle, Virginia. Now, I don't care what you say right there. That is a punchy pick. Michael was trying to help pull a calf that was coming in breech. He got her bound up, and then all of a sudden the cow let go with everything that should have been eaten for the last couple of days. Just splattered him there, guys. He hung right in there. The cow was good. The calf was good. And Michael, don't be self-conscious. Most of us look like that with their shirt off, just minus all the shit. But Michael's going to get all the prizes from the Punchy Pick of the Month contest, including all kinds of swag from NationalBeefWire, Feeder Flash. Beaver County Stockyards has the coolest swag around. And then, of course, he's going to get that whole case of Farapiece that he can use there on his farm. And congratulations to him for that. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. October live cattle futures were up 387 at 235.27. I'll tell you a little bit about why that October live cattle futures was so much higher. December was up 20 cents at 231.10. Then your back months on live cattle were up 7 cents to up 42 cents. October feeder cattle down 60 at 347.27 after being up big on Wednesday. November feeder cattle down a quarter at 341.82. Then all your back months were higher, from 20 cents higher to $1.52 higher. And your CME cattle futures have bled open interest here all week, guys. Not many players left in that. Let's talk about your grain futures there. December corn down 4.5 cents a bushel at 429.5. November beans, they were all about Trump going over there and talking to President Xi from China, and evidently he is going to start taking soybeans again. They haven't had that for a while, but the rumor of it happening, or their expectations, is always bigger. It's been more up earlier this week, but on Thursday it was up 10 cents a bushel at 10.90 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December down 9 3/4 cents at 5.13. Talk about your fat cattle trade. We had a little bit more direct fed cattle trade out of your major negotiated trade areas there, but not a lot. They're probably going to trade, or they will trade, the bulk of their direct sales here on Friday. The packers just wanted to see everything kind of settle out a little bit, because all of a sudden your cattle feeders were wanting more for cattle. They were justified to get more for cattle, so your packers just backed off and let them wait a day till they'll trade the rest of them here on Friday. But Iowa sold 100 head on Thursday, 13,550 head for the week, and the only trade we saw in Iowa was 360 dressed. Nebraska sold 200 head, 21,000 so far for the week, and the only trade they had was some dress sales at 360 also. Kansas sold 600 head. They've only sold 725 for the week. I mean, nothing. All of our fat cattle auctions had more than that. But they had live trade at 235, and that would be $5 higher than some early trade that they had when everybody thought the world was going to come to an end. Texas sold 600 head on Thursday. That's all they've sold. Most of that on the Fed Cattle Exchange. That's an online console of trading cattle there, and it has competitive bidding. It has price transparency. It is what I'm all about. I wish we had more of that in the Fed cattle arena, but I was talking to Forrest Roberts there on Thursday, and they said they come in on their Thursday morning auction, online auction, and they had the cattle priced in there from 234 to 236 on a reserve. They put those cattle up for bid at 230, and then suddenly they started getting competitive bidding from at least one major and also one regional packer there. And they worked their way up, and they sold cattle. It was the first sales we had on Thursday from 235 to 235.5. That is only $2.50 to $3 lower than last week. And I tell you what, people were watching it. Like I said, it's transparent. People can see it as it happens. And within 10 minutes of when that trade happened is when we see our October live cattle futures start going up on the board. They were pretty much unchanged from that point. And when they started selling cattle that high on the Fed Cattle Exchange, it took off and didn't stop till it went up 387 for Thursday there. Good job to the Fed Cattle Exchange. Wish more of you would consign your cattle to the Fed Cattle Exchange, to that competitive bidding there. Had some brick and mortar sales. Kelowna Sales Barn, DVAuction broadcaster there, had 800 head for their slaughter cattle auction. The market was from 875 to 975 lower. They had an awful good sale last week. Conventional fed cattle sell from 227 to 236.25. They also had dairy steers there, and several of them selling from 207 to 221. Let's talk about your box beef cutouts values, and it's almost comical the way that when Trump come out with his original tweet that beef is too high and we got to bring in beef from Argentina, which wouldn't have made a shit because they don't have that much of it. But from the time he put that post out on Truth Social, your choice box beef cutout values have been straight up until Thursday, and then we saw cattle starting to sell better and more confidence in the market. And on Thursday, choice cuts were down 311 at 378.27. Select cuts down 227 at 359.52. Talk about your slaughter so far for the week. Up through Thursday, estimated cattle slaughter at 457,000. That's 11,000 more than this point last week, but still 34,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, that's Dakota Moss there in Oklahoma City. They are your LRP specialists. I've been kind of pulling out some of his agents that work with him. I'll talk about a few of them here on this visit. How about Aaron Coffey? He's in Ardmore, Oklahoma. He's well versed in the cattle industry, can sure help you guys if you're in that area. How about Colby Cunningham from Rose, Oklahoma? That's cattle country up in there, guys. Get a hold of him if you're looking for help with some risk protection there. And then Byron Bird, I mean, his family has been in this for a long time down there in Okeechobee, Florida. If you're in the southeast, you know, maybe you can relate better to him. Get a hold of Byron there. And for more information on how you can get a hold of those guys, go to livestoccriskservices.com. Let's talk about your feeder cattle markets, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood, guys. Your real-time index from DVAuction late in the day on Thursday after your sales had all concluded was sitting at 338.99, down another 501. I thought it was about to plane out there after Wednesday. The losses had lightened up a little bit, but we're sure sitting there pretty steady with what cattle are bringing now, but down 501 on Thursday, and that's another big hit there, guys. But your steer tracker was higher than that on the last 25 lots of 5 head or more that go in the index. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index is still lagging back behind at 352. Talk about some sales you might be interested in coming up here this weekend and early next week. Legends of the Fall is a cool sale. Legends of the Fall was a cool movie. Most of you watched it with Brad Pitt there and Anthony Hopkins, but Legends of the Fall sale they've been having the last few years. Ron Cunningham and his boys, they put that on, and it's up there in northeastern Oklahoma. It is a cool sale. You've got to at least watch it on DVAuction.com. It's going to be Saturday, November the 1st here at 1 o'clock p.m. They've got some really high-class consignments there. They've got some consignments of bred heifers there from Adcock's Lazy 71 Ranch, the Carson Ranch, the Coffee Ranch, the Cunningham Ranch, the Nail Ranch. I tell you what, they've got some of the best cattle that you can get up in that country of all different kinds. You can go through them and find out what you want. Salt Creek, Dr. Miles Sheets. It's mostly bred heifers, and you guys are in the market for them. Get in there and check them out. They got like 925 head of fancy high genetic bred heifers. Get on to the Legends of the Fall sale on DVAuction.com on Saturday at 1 o'clock, guys. And then how about on Monday coming up, Faith, South Dakota, Faith Livestock Auction there. Dace has got another impressive run. I tell you what, they get to start out on Monday. They did this last week and the week before, 7 o'clock in the morning. They're the guinea pig guys. But on Monday at November the 3rd, 7 o'clock in the morning, they're going to start that sale. They've got another 10,000 head of fancy ranch raised calves there. They've got calves from the Lamonts, 550 black baldies from them. The Dorsey Ranch there's got 500 head of black steer and heifer calves. They'll be as good as walks. Stedinger has got 400 head of red-hided calves in there. Be fancy. And D&D Holmes has got 365 Charlet and Charlet Cross. I tell you what, I mean, if you want fancy calves to background this winter, put on fall forage or whatever, get on to DV Auction at Faith, South Dakota early Monday morning and get ready to bid and buy there. Let's talk about your big sales that happened on Thursday. Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson, North Dakota had a big special. They had 4,950 head, mostly calves, guys. It was lower, just like your other sales have all been. I don't care how good it is, the market was lower. even up there in the northern plains where they have the fancy calves offered. The steers sold 15 to 35 lower. Heifers were 15 to 30 lower, with spots on the lightweight heifers under 400 pounds as much as 80 lower. But if they're only weighing in the threes, you know, that's not that much really. But I tell you what, look at this automated marker report. They were your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Livestock Handling Equipment, stick out sale of the day. You look at this automated marker report through Cattle Market Central and you see your best tested weights. 576 head of the 4-weight steers. Aaron Dickinson averaged 461 at 488.83 on a weighted average price. Still pretty good. 1,390 head of the 5-weight steers averaged 545 at 453.48. There were 682 head of the 6-weight steer calves. They averaged 634 at 425.10. Let's look at some of the heifers. 632 head of the 4-weight heifer calves, fancy as walked, averaged 456 at 429.27, and 768 head of the 5-weight heifers averaged 549 at 404.53. Let's talk about some other individual quotes from all over there that I give you every time. Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota. They had 68 head of 1,007-pound feeder steers there, bring 347.50. That's not much off of before all this stuff started happening, guys. How about Lamona Livestock in Lamona, Iowa? It was the first time to ever broadcast them on DVAuction. They got along really well, had a nice offering, sold 68 steers, weighed 829 at 358.75. Nothing to sneeze at. How about New Cambria Livestock Auction, New Cambria, Missouri? They're a DVAuction broadcaster. They sold 67 steers, weighed 759 at 385. And then the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Ogallala Livestock Auction, another DVAuction broadcaster there. They had 149 head of 488-pound steers at 567.50. Early this last week, we couldn't get $500 for a 500-pounder. We had 488-pounders at 567.50. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.